Fist of Fury!
Ow, you asshole. Welcome.
Fist of Fury! I'm just kidding. Keep going. Keep going. What are you doing?
Welcome to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris. That's Bill. And today we're watching
I have self-control issues.
Fist of Fury from 1972, starring Bruce Lee. So, Bill, what did you think of Fist of Fury?
See, you got no energy there. No strength, no rage, no threat of you actually doing it.
I guess that's true. But what did you think of this movie, Bill?
I think I understand why the UK was so scared of nunchucks, because Bruce Lee is so freaking awesome with nunchucks.
He really is. It's kind of like, oh shit, nunchucks are scary, but cool.
In the right hands, absolutely.
They're so awesome in this movie.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
I think this was the clip in this movie is where someone famously turned the nunchucks into lightsabers. I think it was from this movie. Because he's fighting the guy with the sword.
Yeah, it probably would be, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Fist of Fury. It's a pretty old movie. I think the movie also has another title called China Connection.
Yeah, I think when it was originally released in the U.S., it was called The Chinese Connection. I think trying to ape off the success of The French Connection. But also, I think Bruce Lee's previous movie was also released in America as Fist of Fury for some reason,
Okay.
which would have just made things confusing.
Yeah, definitely.
But this, I believe, was his second movie?
Okay.
Yeah. And weirdly, I looked into it. The master that passed away off screen was a real guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like a real martial arts master who died young, and some people, conspiracy theories, believe maybe he was killed by the Japanese, but it might not have been the case. He might have just been poorly medicated. I don't know. But it was a real guy, and this was sort of like well, what if one of his students went on a murderous, roaring rampage of revenge?
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny because, you know, when you watch, like, some of these, like, kung fu movies, and it's not with all of them, but, like, anytime you're watching something like Chinese or something, you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Japanese people are the bad guys, usually. It's kind of like with, like, Western stuff where it's like, it's the Russians. They're the bad guys. And I guess earlier than that, it's like, those Germans. But this is like, it's like, oh, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like, every time we watch something like this, it's like, oh, yeah. Japan sucked back in like the 40s and 30s and stuff.
I think this might be set a little earlier than that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it seems like very much in maybe the period where Japan was controlling parts of China.
This movie takes place specifically in Shanghai, I believe they said.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with where Shanghai is in location to, you know, what was controlled by who. I know, like, the English controlled Hong Kong. I don't know if Shanghai is close to Hong Kong. So, but...
Hard to say.
Yeah.
But, yeah, his master dies, and just a bunch of Japanese guys show up and just start disrespecting everybody, like trying to goad people into fights. And everyone's just like, for God's sake, Bruce Lee, don't do it.
Don't do it, Shen. You're better.
And he's like, fine, I won't. And then he's just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna. And he just goes to their school and kicks all their asses.
Yeah.
Like, all of them at the same time.
I think, like, one thing about, like, Bruce Lee's movie is, like, you know, the man had, like, great facial expressions. In that scene where, like, you know, the Japanese dojo shows up, they give him, like, that warning sign, and it's just, like, they're all making fun of him. Just seething with rage.
Clenching
just
his fist.
see it on his face, clenching the fist. You're like, oh, man.
He's got a very expressive face.
Yeah.
Really good at emoting. I can't critique his, like, actual performance because I watched the dub version. So.
Me too.
If it wasn't so late when I watched it, I might have just, because it auto-played the subtitle version, I would have been like, whatever. But I was tired. I didn't want to read. One thing I dug later in the movie was when he was wearing, like, the disguise of the telephone operator. And he's kind of... As I watched the retrospective thing, because I have the Criterion Bruce Lee thing, so everything's got like supplemental stuff, like look backs and all that stuff. And he was like apparently like a Jerry Lewis fan. I'm like, oh, I can kind of see it with the mannerisms and stuff, because he was kind of doing a little bit of a Jerry Lewis, trying to act like kind of silly and goofy and stuff. Just completely different body language from like the rest of the movie, where he's just like this, like super angry, unhinged guy. And also, And it kind of occurred to me when I was watching it, is this where they got the idea in Big Trouble in Little China for the telephone bit? Where they were like, we're telephone guys. We're here to repair your telephone.
Oh man, maybe, yeah.
Just saying, it's
Yeah.
martial arts fantasy movie, regular martial arts movie, kind of.
I mean, it's an iconic movie, There's a lot in this movie that is recognizable, like especially if you watched a lot of other movies in this genre. But yeah, it just, I watched it dub too, but his physical acting when he is the telephone like repairman,
Yeah.
even kind of like looks different. He's kind of like sticking his teeth out and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
he's just trying to be kind of geeky.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to look like the Nutty Professor.
Yeah, he kind of seems like, kind of like meek and like weak and stuff as he's like walking around.
And like trying to just like, don't snap their necks, don't snap their necks, don't snap their necks, don't punch them to death, don't punch them to death. That comes later.
Yeah. I mean, he even has another disguise like before that where he's like the old man selling the newspaper briefly.
Yeah.
But it is like kind of like a weird setup where it's just like rival martial arts school kills another martial arts school master. Why? Reasons. Like
reasons of they're Japanese, they're Chinese, they don't like each other.
Pretty much. It's just like they're Japanese, therefore in the context of this movie, they're evil. And
I mean, they're like evil for like no reason.
they are. I mean, even like the one like Chinese guy that like is like helping them. I guess he in the regular movie without the dub, I guess he's their translator.
They even say he's the translator.
Yeah. And I don't know if like in the regular movie maybe the Japanese guys just speak Japanese, but
Maybe.
yeah. But they even treat him like shit at that one part where they're like
Yeah.
they're all like having a party and like they're like, oh, walk out like a Chinese, like a dog, and like it's just like, man, like just really playing up how evil these guys are.
Yeah.
I also like it's funny. One of the guys in this movie is wearing like a very much like this outfit that looks very much like a character from this manga called Bleach. That I was just like, I wonder if maybe the creator of that manga saw this movie and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna make Soul Reapers look like that guy.
I mean, it's Bruce Lee movie, so
Yeah.
good chance of that.
Yeah. Also, they're like the main like I guess head of the Japanese dojo. He's got like a very impressive like mustache going on, which I'm like, this guy looks like somebody from like Street Fighter or something. Like,
Oh man, speaking of like character outfits, the detectives, they kind of got like those like traditional kind of like Chinese robes, but they're just wearing fedoras.
Yeah.
And it's so weird looking.
I like it. I was like, yeah, okay, that checks out.
I was like, how do you know they're detectives? They got the hats.
That's how we know.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting because Bruce Lee's character Chen, he wants to get revenge for his master, but like at the end of the day, he's not really a good guy.
No,
He's kind of a violent murderer that like murders people and puts their bodies up for people to see.
Well,
like
fair is fair. He kind of like went psycho before he even knew they had killed his master.
That's true. It's interesting too, because like at the beginning of the movie with like the master's funeral and stuff, all the people at the school are kind of wearing a similar outfit, except for like Bruce Lee. He's just like all in white. It's just like, I guess that's the main character.
We have to be able to tell him apart.
Yeah.
I know, supposedly somewhere amongst the students in the school, young Jackie Chan.
Oh, of course.
And when the bad guy gets kicked through that window, Jackie Chan.
Nice.
Because of course.
Jackie Chan worked on a couple Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was on this movie, but next time when I watch it, I'm like gonna have to look for him and just be like, "There's Jackie."
Just look in the background.
Yeah.
There he is.
Got him.
It's like someone walks in. Chris, what are you doing? I'm playing Where's Jackie Chan? Found him. Yes.
You can only do it with a few Bruce Lee movies, but it's pretty cool that you can do it with a couple. But yeah, I mean, all the stunt work is really great. I mean,
Yep.
this is the scene where he takes on like the entire dojo at the beginning, where he has like the nunchucks, is just so cool.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things where as I was watching it, I'm just like, man, I'd love to see Michelangelo do something serious like this in a Ninja Turtles thing.
Well, maybe if they make that last Ronin movie.
Yeah. Because, like, man, and the way Bruce Lee fights in general, it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, how Kung Fu actually works in real life, but, like, the way he does it, yeah, like, he just makes it seem so, like, effortless, but, like, also so, like, precise and powerful. Like, especially when he's fighting the one, like, older karate guy, and that guy's kind of, like, really, like, swinging his body into stuff, and, like, Bruce Lee's so, like, easily dodging him, and each move is, like, so precise and, like, elegant. It's just really cool to watch him fight.
I think my favorite fight is probably at the end when it's katana versus nunchuck.
That's a cool moment. Also, I mean, like, the fucking ending with the katana. Like, where it gets, like, thrown up in the air, and then, like, he just, like, grabs the guy forward and
Oh, man.
just goes right into him.
For a movie this old, it's one of the most brutal deaths I've seen, besides the katana one, with the final boss, when he kicks him out the window or whatever. You see him kicking him right in the neck.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy and epic. One thing with this movie that I did notice, though, that I was wondering about, because, like, when he goes to, like, fight the main masters of the dojo, it's, like, the scene before that, the main masters of the dojo tell, like, the other underlings to go to the Chinese dojo and just, like, kill everybody.
Yeah.
And those, like, henchmen never, like, really return into the movies.
They don't get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because, like, he kills, like, the main masters and everything.
And then we find out, oh, yeah, most of those other people died. Except for like one or two, and then just a handful of the ones that were out looking for Bruce Lee's character.
Yeah, but, man, he does, like, kill everybody. He even kills, like, the translator. He's got another disguise.
Yeah.
Where he's, like, the rickshaw-like guy.
And he hangs them up like a serial killer.
I mean, he does. It's just, like, he's a bad man.
And, I mean, he dies at the end, I guess.
I guess so, because he's greeted by, like, a firing squad when he, like, turns himself in at the end.
They just shoot him right then and there.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, the bullets are kind of in the pathway of all those other people behind him.
That's true. Lopsided justice system, I guess.
I guess so.
Maybe a commentary on something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe they just didn't think of that.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we don't know how to end this movie. I don't know. He dies.
I mean, it was kind of an era where, like, in the retrospective I watched, where it's like, yeah, if a protagonist did something bad, they couldn't get away with it.
Okay.
So he had to either get arrested or die.
That makes sense. Guess he wasn't going to get together with that girl.
Nope.
At the end.
She's got to go on to the sequel where she meets Jackie Chan.
Right.
Apparently, she's in the sequel.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because I think it's the same director made New Fist of Fury, starring Jackie Chan.
I think the director's name is something like Lo Wei, but I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, because I think it's like Lowei. So,
I can't pronounce a lot of these names. That's why I tend to not try.
Yeah. But he did, because I have the Criterion Bruce Lee set too. He directed a couple of the movies on there, I noticed.
Yeah.
At least 2, maybe 3. But I think the first 2 he must have directed on there.
Okay.
So he's somebody that Bruce Lee worked with quite a bit.
Yes. But apparently they didn't always get along with. If the little thing I read from Jackie Chan being like, yeah, I saw them get into a fight. It was crazy.
Well, that's kind of cool. Seems like sometimes, like, some of, like, the best movies have, like, behind the scenes drama going on and stuff.
And some of the worst.
Yeah, that too. But this one's cool.
It's crazy because the character that Bruce Lee played, it's like, you think it's like, it's just a character for Bruce Lee to play. No. They keep using this character. Other famous martial arts stars have played him. Jet Li has played this character.
Wow.
Donnie Yen has played this character.
Man.
He played the character in a movie called Legend of the Fist, Chen's whatever Returns, and I recognized it when I looked it up. I've seen this DVD in, like, back when there was video stores still, because he dresses like freaking Kato from the Green Hornet at some point in that movie. And I've seen that cover, and I'm like, the hell's this?
Huh.
I guess it's just a tribute.
I guess so.
Because Bruce Lee played the original. I don't know why this character keeps getting revisited, but he does
People like him.
somehow.
They're like, Chen's cool.
We want a disciple of this famous martial artist guy,
Yeah.
so we just made one up.
Okay.
I don't know if he's loosely based on a real one or not. I don't know. Maybe,
Maybe, yeah.
but it's weird.
It's weird.
It's just so random. It's like oh, of all the Bruce Lee characters to just keep popping up, it's this one.
Yeah. You know what's one thing about the movie too, and I don't know if this was just in the dub version, but did you notice there was like a weird like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a 70s era like almost like James Bond-esque sounding song at the beginning.
Use hands to hold my fellow man.
Like I don't know if that's like in the original version or just in the dub version that they did for like like English speakers where they're like, we gotta sexy this movie up. We needs like a hit song or something.
Did they really need to sexy it up?
I mean, there is that one scene.
There is that one scene.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know if they really. I think they just dropped in audio. I don't think they really made any editing changes.
Okay.
Like, I don't think this is like an altered cut. I think it is just an audio
Yeah.
thing. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't say for certain.
Yeah.
I mean, thing is, I did play like the opening, like just with the subtitles before switching. When I
Yeah.
realized because I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh wait, does it auto to this? What do I? And I was like, oh no, it's like the first scene started. I'm like, oh, it's subtitle. Let me switch. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just like figured
the
immediately when I
opening-
saw the name of the director on the thing, I was just like, yeah, I probably should check to see if this is in English or.
Well, I kind of figured. I think I just hit play by mistake. I don't know. Like I said, it was kind of late when I was watching. I was just like, I gotta start this movie. Let's just go.
You're like nothing like the soothing noises of nunchucks and people getting smacked to soothe me to sleep.
Absolutely, my dreams are violent.
I mean, those nunchuck noises are like
Ridiculous.
they are ridiculous. Like that's not how real nunchucks sound when they hit people, but like I love the sound. Like all the smacks.
Oh, they
and all
sound
that.
devastating as hell.
Yeah. It's insane. We have those like iconic of Bruce Lee like, punching somebody super hard and then like everything goes into like slow motion as like you see his neck veins and he's just like screaming. Like
Oh man, I can't remember. I don't remember which. I guess it was the first fight when he just punched this one poor bastard at least twice in the groin. I'm like, oh god.
oh yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing I was kind of surprised about. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy kind of fights dirty too. Like, there's that big Russian guy, and he like kind of puts him in like a arm bar or whatever, and Bruce Lee just like bites him in like the foot or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. This movie's like, yeah, this is a real fight.
Yeah.
There's no honor in this. It's
No.
just like I'm avenging my master.
Yeah, he's here for. This guy's out for blood.
Yeah.
This is like one of the earliest like action movies that I'm aware of. That's like this is a roaring rampage of revenge.
Yeah.
Like, how many times did that happen before this, as an action movie?
I don't know. This movie was made a very long time ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the earliest example, but it might be up there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's insane. This movie was made like before Star Wars, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, Bruce Lee died in 1973. He didn't even get a whiff of Star Wars.
Well,
Man, imagine what he would have thought of. Is like, wait a minute, laser sword, you say?
yeah,
Oh man, imagine Star Wars if George Lucas put Bruce Lee in it.
that would have been a cool movie. I don't know. I always bring up Star Wars as like an old movie just because like that's like my frame of reference where I'm like, yeah, Star Wars is like an old ass movie. It was made in like 1977.
I mean, it's
Like-
old, but it's also like a kind of like a bridge point where it's like, after this, nothing was ever the same.
Yeah,
There was the blockbuster era,
it's true.
whereas before that was the grungy era. Everything was dirty
Yeah,
and smelly.
it's true. But I don't know. Every time I watch one of these movies, I'm just like, man, I gotta watch more kung fu movies. They're just so awesome and cool.
Oh yeah, this is only the second Bruce Lee movie I've actually watched in its entirety, and I'm like, all right, that's 2 down, just 3 to go.
Really? Just 3?
Yeah, dude, he
He
died
only-
young.
I know, but I was just like, wow, he only made like 5 movies?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, it was.
What an icon to be that famous from just 5 movies.
Yeah,
Well, I guess he was on that TV show too.
that show was only on for 1 season.
Wow. Sad.
He became a legend, man.
Yeah.
Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Enter the Dragon, Way of the Dragon, Game of Death. And he even finished Game of Death.
Oh, man.
He's only in like half of that movie, I think.
Jeez. Well, he was a legend either way, and
Unquestioned.
sad to know he only has 5 movies, though.
Yeah.
I thought he had more than that, but...
Probably because of all those fake Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like Fist of Fury 2 and Fist of Fury 3, starring Bruce Lee, but spelled slightly different.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Well, I guess with that being said, go watch Fist of Fury. And I guess I'll have to watch Fist of Fury too, just because Jackie Chan's in it.
No, not Fist of Fury 2.
Oh,
New Fist of Fury.
new Fist of Fury.
Fist of Fury 2 stars some guy named Bruce Lee, L-I, with an L-I.
That's a fake Bruce Lee.
That's a fake Bruce Lee. It's Bruceploitation.
Oh, man.
That's the term. I didn't make that up. That's the term.
Wow.
So, New Fist of Fury with Jackie Chan.
Okay.
That's the one you can watch. Yeah, maybe the ones with Jet Li and Donnie Yen are fun too, because they're cool.
They are cool.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week.
Fist of Fury!
I swear to God, Bill.